What is up, YouTube? Mr. King coming at you live from the studio. Here are the questions for the day. Please pause the video now and answer them. Next, I want to go over some practice questions. So remember that a lot of elements in the periodic table are lined up so their valence electrons are in the same column. So valence electrons, to know what they are, remember it's not on the inside that counts, it's what's on the outside that counts. So you count the electrons on the outside. So magnesium, beryllium, and calcium, even though they have way different numbers of electrons, protons, and neutrons, all three of them have two valence electrons. So they all have two electrons on the outside ring. That makes them have similar properties. So if you count these, all three of these elements have 7 valence electrons. So I want you to try and figure out how many valence electrons does this atom have? And how many valence electrons does this atom have? Please review. You need to know and recognize what valence electrons are. Okay? And then when you're ready, can you go to Tuesday, periodic trends? And we're going to talk about atomic radius and size today. We're not going to finish it today. We'll finish it tomorrow. It's not due until Thursday. And when you pull it up, click here to access the Gizmo. And when you do, the page will look something like this. This is important. If you don't log in, it'll only give you 5 minutes to view it. So you need to click login and log in here. Okay? If you don't remember your login, here's a class code that you can use to make a new account. Okay? Once you're logged in though, click launch and it'll look something like this. Okay? And then when you're ready, click on trends. Okay? And then it'll give you the periodic table. The main elements that we're going to focus on in chemistry are the elements in this row, this column 1, 2. The transition metals are very tricky, so we're not really going to worry about the transition metals or these metals. The lanthanides and actinides, they're very uncommon. The only one you really have to worry about is uranium, and that has to do with, as you may know, nuclear radiation. But the main columns we're going to focus on are 1 and 2, and then column 13 and 14, 15, 16, 17. Those are the nonmetals. They're really important for covalent bonds that we'll get to later. 18, these are all gases, and they all have a complete electron shell. So these are all very unreactive. So we're not really going to worry about these. The main ones are going to be 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 2, and 1. Okay? And then I want you to try and find the nonmetals, the metals, and then try and look closely to figure out what do the groups or the columns have in common with each other. We went over this yesterday too, but I think we need more practice. So look at the elements in the column and figure out what do all the elements in a column have in common. Also, if you click on these, it'll tell you a little bit more about them. But there's something specific that all these elements have in common, and all these elements, and all of these, and these, and these, and these. They're all in a column for a reason. Try and figure it out. It has to do with electrons. Next, you're going to be looking at atomic radius. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it. The size of an atom determines how strongly the nucleus attracts electrons. In the periodic trends gizmo, you will explore this relationship and how it affects the periodic properties of different elements. The atomic radius is a measure of the size of the electron cloud, or the region where electrons can be found. Here's some review from geometry. Remember, radius is a term used to describe the center of a circle to the outside. That length is the radius. Okay? That's the radius. The diameter goes all the way through, but the radius is just the center to the outside. So that's how you're going to be measuring the radius of an element. You're going to try and finish this slide today. Slide 5. The rest of the slides we'll finish tomorrow. But this one, you're going to finish today. Okay? I'll show you how to do the first one. So, click on beryllium, then explore, then show ruler. Okay, so trends, beryllium, and then click explore. Here is how you do it. You need to find the number of energy levels and the atomic radius in picometers. Picometers are very small, 10 to the negative 10 tenth of a meter. 10 to the negative 10th of a meter. Okay? Beryllium, number of energy levels and atomic radius. So the first one, number of energy levels. Each one of these rings or orbitals is an energy level. So for example, beryllium, it has 2 orbitals, 2 rings, so it has 2 energy levels. And then barium, to figure out barium, so you'd want to count each ring to figure out how many energy levels barium has. And then to find the radius, click show ruler, grab it, put 1 in the center, and then the outside. That's the radius of the atom, 112. And then click save. And then to find the rest, just keep going down the list. Yep, that's all you're doing today. We'll finish the rest of the slides tomorrow. Thank you everyone for paying attention the whole time. Last thing before you go is fill this survey. And then you're golden. Yep. Okay.